everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 594. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
I'm Ari Rockefeller.
And I am Mako-chan.
And how is everybody doing tonight?
I'm still so very tired.
I got about 3 hours of sleep last night. So I know those
Oof.
feels.
I'm just I actually had a thing of Mountain Dew for the first time on a Tuesday in like weeks, because normally I would just get regular Pepsi or a Pepsi variant or a Coke or something like that. I needed the extra caffeine because I was falling asleep during like the last hour at work, and I'm just like, oh, this is
Gonna be one of those days, huh?
yes. And then I realized I forgot to do the rundown, so I'm going to have to update while we do our weekend day. So, I'm looking at it, I'm just like, well, shit. Anywho, well, let's kind of get on with the show here. We are live week of June 20th, 2023, right here on Twitch TV. We're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're also, you can always find us at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. And we're also part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com. And you can always find them at Twitch TV/VogNetwork. And they kick things off on Sunday nights, starting at 8 p.m. with the Bobby Blackwolf Show, and about 9 o'clock with Orange Lounge Radio. And come hang out in our Discord chat server. We're at vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has their own channel, so come through and have a good time. And I can see there are people who are recovering from the weekend. Some of us on vacation, some of us went to cons, some of us stayed home, but we'll have some interesting stories to talk about. So while that's going on, I'm going to move things over to how was your week? How was your day? Ari. And while that's happening, I'm going to fix the rundown.
Okay. Yeah, because two of the things are coming up not found, but
What
nap.
what's coming?
On the the links on the outline, but
I will double check them in a bit. Just bear with me. So
okay. So anyway, I got paid this weekend,
ding.
which was a little earlier because of the Juneteenth.
Okay.
And like I said last time, like yesterday, I finally got new furniture for my room.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see here, that's the new bed. And hang on, let me bring up and over there is the new dresser and mirror.
Since we do have people who are listening to audio, can you give a bit of a description of the new furniture?
It's a nice big queen bed with a nice tall headboard, and the the dresser is now 3x3 in terms of shelves. It has a nice tall mirror on it too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice, nice and sleek and black, and not like the old wooden rustic looking shit that I've had since I was like 5 or 6, and just never got around to replacing.
Well, what's interesting you say that, because I have a friend, she has all this furniture in her room, but she doesn't have room to set up a desktop and stream and stuff. I'm like, why don't you get rid of this stuff? She's like, no, but it's my grandmother's furniture and my parents will get upset. And I'm like, well, why don't you talk to them about putting some of it down in the basement or something? You need your space for stuff, so.
Yeah. But as I wasn't on last week, was I?
No,
The
you
week
weren't.
before, yeah. I told you that they came on Monday, the Raymore and Flanagan people. They're very professional, but they don't take out, the old stuff. So I had spent yesterday, pulling out shelves, breaking everything down, hauling it out to the dumpster, all the while just going through bust. I had like 8 bags of trash
Yeah.
and like a gigantic dust cloud in here when I was cleaning up, and I'm just the whole time just like thinking, how did it get this bad? I know I tend to like let this slip, but it's never this fucking bad.
Well, Ari, here's the thing. If you look at it think of a perspective, like it's an organized mess. Yeah, you may have stacks, but they're kind of organized and you know where stuff is. But when you get the new furniture, you're like, I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore.
Oh god, I was pulling through old stuff in my drawers, and I was like, wait, this is from when? This expired what year? How long have I had this? Like, things that just didn't, apply anymore. So, into the trash they went.
Right.
Oh, and also I have my bread box right next to me here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice.
And for those of you who are listening, Breadbox is basically Ari's Breadbox PC that
The breadbox style of PC case. It's a cube.
That we built for him back in February.
The one like last February, not this past one.
Has it really been that far?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I still have I managed to get all the trash bags out.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, what I have is I still have the drawers from the old, from the old bureau.
Right.
That I still have to, go through the clothes and put them in, the various new drawers that I have. Things like I definitely have a lot more space to store stuff.
Mm.
I'm very grateful for that.
And it's interesting you say bureau. It's like growing up, I never heard the word dresser. I never really heard it. It was always go put it in the bureau and that's what I thought it was. So when I went,
It was either bureau or a dresser. We kind of used them interchangeably.
Or brera or whatever, something like that. And the thing is, when I went to go looking for furniture, I'm like, I can't find it. And somebody was like, well, pointing out this dresser. I'm like, oh, a brera. And we were going back. It's the words that you get when you're growing up. You hear one thing and it means something you don't even realize, And
it's like that's the word you use for it. What?
Yeah. And you talking about your new furniture and the stuff you're throwing out. Like I said, I cleared out my storage closet, and right over here, you see I'm tapping my hand on a filing cabinet here that's full of papers and discs and stuff. I actually need to sit down and empty these drawers and sort them and see what am I keeping and what am I throwing out. And to go back to what you said about where were all of this, the space and this and that. Getting into buying more anime swag, I'm like, you wake up one day and you realize you kind of sort of ran out of room. And it's like, now I'll get into it during my weekend day, but please continue.
Yeah, I do have, the only thing I'm still missing is, well, I had to get a replacement bookshelf.
Right.
The one in the corner is only 3 shelves high and, again, covered in dust and just neglected in the corner. But
right.
This one's going to go in the living room, and I'm just going to put my, all these books that you see on my dresser, and there's still some out in the other room, in the living room, as well as a couple other pieces of nerd swag or whatever, the new Lego sets that the new Lego set that I put together is definitely going to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show that off next time, but I have something much more permanent to show off this time.
Got you.
For later. But yeah, that's how my week's been going. I'm just trying to enjoy my vacation in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. Mako, how was your week? How was your day?
Very tiring.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I mean, just work has been absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So it was very nice to get away for the weekend, relax, walk around the city, and drink a hell of a lot. So yeah, so I'm very tired.
I feel that. We have to talk about that.
But yeah, I mean that's basically it. Just trying to plot when to get going again with decorating the house.
Mm-hmm.
That and yeah, that's basically it.
Oh, Mako, side note, there is an official Sonic the Hedgehog cookbook coming out.
Ooh. I wonder how many recipes for chili dogs will be in it.
Well, I already see one called The Perfect Chili Dog.
Of course, there would be.
Uh-huh. All right, so my weekend day has been, same old, work and so forth. But, I was off work Monday due to Juneteenth, so I just did what I do on any normal holiday. I slept in, went to the doctor, I'll get into that in just a bit, came home, played video games, worked on photos, gamed, all that good stuff. But in between there, we mentioned like way back when that Mako had came up to visit, and we were going to do a bar crawl, but on that day it was basically 10 below. And we decided to stay in and order takeout. This time around, we actually went. And it was fun. We went to 5 different bars, and basically we paced ourselves. Yeah, we did.
I know I did. I had one drink
Mm-hmm.
at each bar except for the last one,
Mm-hmm.
and every other bar I had water as well.
Yeah, one of our friends came along. She's normally a heavyweight, but yeah, she ended up going back home and had to call out of work the next day. Poor child had a hangover.
Dang.
Yeah. But, she still had fun, so that's all that really mattered. Because I was kind of worried about how many bars we were going to hit, because it's like, well, how many bars consists of a bar crawl and this and that. I look at it this way: as long as you hit at least 3, it's a bar crawl to me. At least. But that's just me. So there was that. In reference to like clearing out my storage closet, and for those of you who are watching right now, you can see the closet where my Hero Academia calendar is. There's more space here for me to move stuff, and between me and Mako, I forgot to give her my extra Christmas stuff that I no longer need, because now what I do is I take one of the tabletops over here. I have like a little LED Christmas tree, and I just put out like Christmas ornaments. I'll either keep them in the box or put them out on display and just let it be. The only one I won't take out of the box is my Christmas Asuka figurine. And I mean, given I paid $35 and it's pretty pricey, right? And it's going for a decent price, I'm like, I'm good. I'd rather just keep it on display, and that's fine. So there's all of that. Let's see what else is there. Saturday, I think it was Saturday night. I happened to go onto the Old Navy website, and what I do is from periodically is look for cargo pants. Now that's my jam. I've been wearing cargo pants for God knows how long, and I basically wear them to work because I strongly believe when you're in IT, you shouldn't be wearing slacks and shoes, but cargo pants, sneakers, and maybe shoes because you're always moving around. You're hiding. You're climbing under. You're going underneath desks and all that stuff. And slacks can get damaged. And they had like these really nice cargo pants, but I think about a year and a half. I think it was a year and a half ago. Old Navy sold them out and replaced them with what was called the '94 style cargo pants. I absolutely hated them. So I had to go through another site. I had to go through Amazon to get them. I happened to go on Saturday night, and I found them. Tried to buy 3 pairs, was only able to get 2, and had double coupons on them. So, and then sitting in the bag behind me. So I'm probably going to crack them open and wear them to work tomorrow. So I can break them, and actually I like them. So there's that. So as I said, I went to the doctor on Monday because I don't have high cholesterol, but it's slightly elevated. So I've been on cholesterol meds for about a year and a half. So every 3 months, I have to go and get my numbers checked, which means they'll either pull 2 or 3 vials of blood out of me. So, yeah. And I think one time they had trouble getting a vein, so that was very fun. And I'll just leave. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But I've gotten used to it, So I'm just like, it's whatever. There's that. I picked up a couple of more books from work. There's that. And I think that's basically has been it. Yeah, I think that's basically is it. So we're gonna move along to housekeeping news. If I can get this thing to there we go. All right. Let's see. Don't forget, episodes of Anime Jam Session are available on our YouTube page going back about 2 years, maybe 3. YouTube.com/Anime Jam Session/playlist. Click on Podcast VODs. Episodes are right there, and you'll see I think playlist 2021 and 2022. You want to check out older episodes and stuff like that. So there's all that good stuff. Also, there will be no show July 4th. Normally, I think we would do one, but this year, Mako's got plans. I figure, and as Mako said, Ari, you'll probably be pulling in extra shifts, during that time, and I don't blame you for that. And I'm going to go on vacation for a few days and kind of enjoy myself, kind of get away. So that'll be good. So we'll be back the following week. So we'll tell you about our adventures, and hope you enjoy them. And the second half of our con tour kicks back off in August. ShikariCon, August 19th to 20th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So come through, hang out. It'll be fun. And holy crap, we just got a raid from one of our hosts. It's Barry Mellon. You know her. She comes through, hangs out, and hosts episodes with us once a month. So, hey, Barry, thank you for the love and support. Let's see, what else do we have?
Readers.
And I think that's it for our housekeeping. So we're now going to get into Geek Roundtable. This is the part of the show where we talk more about the geekier aspects of our week. So, what's up with you, Ari?
Well, you probably may have noticed this on my arm, and I will show you what it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just got this done a couple hours ago.
Oh, what is that?
Tattoo.
Oh,
that's a meeple.
A meeple?
Yeah, it's it's a game piece for like a European style, tabletop games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's first seen in Carcassonne.
Oh, okay.
But now meeple is just like a stand-in turn for any kind of wooden figure that's used as a playing piece on like tabletop games.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. My appointment was today, and I know it was yep. Like I said, like today and yesterday I've been very busy, and that's part of and the furniture was one thing, and the new tattoo was as well. And went to the usual place where I get it, 12-ounce Studios, Deptford, and guy who did it for me was very very professional, very he did convince me to get it with the shading in the corners like that to make it look more 3D and more realistic looking.
Yeah. So
it was I took him up on his advice, and I'm very pleased with how it came out.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to see them. I'm glad that you're happy with that.
Oh yes, very much. Of course, now as I was getting that done, I was thinking the usual things like, I've gotten this done plenty of times before. This won't be a big deal. Like, oh my God, how did I sit through this so many times before? And then I was like, I gotta get something for this side now. Eventually, obviously.
Maybe get the meeple in a different color. You could have one that says 1P and the other one could say 2P.
Who knows? I know I definitely want to get something like some Art Deco piece, because I love that kind of artwork.
Oh, okay.
That style. But something to think about for the future.
Mm-hmm. And that reminds me, I think Mako needs to get some more of her Eevees done soon.
Yeah, when I have the money.
True. I'm just saying, though.
I do. I still have a couple of the EVs and then the backdrop.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, I have not had the money to drop on tattoos.
Gotcha. All right, so let's see. A couple of things here. Bonzo06 says cargo pants are the SUV of pants. Yes, they are. And he says, did the doc visit this month and did not have to give any blood. It was a good day. When you don't have to get stuck with a needle is definitely a good day. So, Wako-chan, what I see you have a squad out here on display. Tell us about them.
Yeah, so this weekend, as we were walking around in the city, we found a place that basically serves nothing but bubble tea and has a crap ton of gashapon and crane toys.
Yup.
While I am, 99.9% sure that the gashapon are bootleg, just because they do not look like the gashapon that I'm finding online. They're still cute, they're still adorable, and I like them. So
I'm
yeah.
guessing for the casual collector, them being real wouldn't be that much of an issue, unless it was like really off model or egregious.
I mean, they're not bad. The main thing, if you're looking at the 3 Sailor Moon ones, each one of them, one should have their own color base. They all shouldn't be the same base, and 2, the bases should actually have, like
planetary symbols, maybe.
Yeah, it's like a relief of moons and stars and things like that on them.
It's sort
just
of
a generic catch-all background.
Yeah.
Also, it's like when you look up the gashapon, like say somebody selling it on Amazon, and then you look at the same one on AliExpress. If you look at the image, you can kind of tell which one's, it's kind of a difference,
Yeah. Not that they don't look like the characters. They do look like the characters, but, obviously you can, if you're looking at it, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like Jigglypuff, I don't know that it was, fully thought out, but the eye and mouth placement is definitely not right.
Jigglypuff looks stoned out of their mind.
Yeah, it's a little off center, so
just
it makes
a little.
It weird. And then obviously
Lately, Jigglypuff's on that good shit that turned Ash into a Pikachu for a couple episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's my jiggly-eyed puff. Yes. But yeah, I mean that's I didn't, I didn't expect to go into this place and have, straight from Japan real product looking at me.
That would have been a nightmare to pay for.
Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, so I got some knockoff gashapon and I'm still happy about it.
Look at it this way. The best way to tell if the difference between legit and bootleg is if they're both the same price. If one has Amazon delivery on it, shipping, most likely it's legit. If it says it's coming in a month and the description on the page, the name is a tongue twister, definitely a bootleg. All right, so in doing so, over going to cons and stuff like that, I find myself buying more figurines and so forth. Because I guess because I can afford it and I want to treat myself, and also I've been trying to backtrack some other figurine stuff that from other animes I've watched, but trying to find and get my hands on something. I like I said, I finished Date Alive, and there is one figurine I do want to pick up that's sitting in my Amazon JP cart, which I'll probably pick up when I pay off when I pay my credit card next. So but I bought a bunch and I left them at Mako's house. So I said next time when you come up, I will drop them off, or I'll try to take them next time I come visit. So she brought me the last of my figurines here, and I'm going to show off one of them. This is from an anime that I started watching on, I think it was either Funimation or Crunchyroll, and the series is called Bagashi Kashi.
You sound distraught about the series.
It's not that I'm distraught. It's just a funny, interesting one. It's basically about a kid, a father and son who's selling candy at a local shop, and this girl comes by, is hoping to recruit the dude's family into selling their brand of candies and so forth and stuff like that. And she gets a little obsessed with sweets and candy. And by little, I mean a lot. And her name...
Like stocking, kind of?
She makes stocking to be an angel compared to this child.
Oh, I get it.
Yep. And the character's name is Kotaro Shirare.
Yeah, she looks cute.
Yeah. And I think I paid like 60. I paid 60 for this. And what's interesting is this is how much this figurine is going for on Amazon. So I got lucky. Sometimes I will pay a price, and then if I see it at half the price, I'm not so upset by it, because let's be real. If you're buying it overseas for $30, you're going to end up spending $15 on shipping anyway. So if you end up spending $50 here, it is what it is. And as Bonzo06 says, wait, someone more lewd than stocking? Yeah, it's Dagashi Kashi. It's on Crunchyroll. Watch it. You'll understand. And speaking of that, I'm gonna side swipe over to cosplay and so forth. Excuse me. As I mentioned before, all the ZenkaiCon photos are posted and ready to go. If you're at Castle Point, photos are posted on our Anime Jam Session fan page. And if I took a picture of you and you reached out, I have sent you your photos. A couple of people may have gotten lost in the cycle there. If you message me and I sent you, and you have not received copies of the photos I've taken of you, please ping me again on Instagram and I'll definitely send them out. I mean, yeah, you can pull them from the Facebook page, but I'd rather send you the higher quality ones directly through your messenger, because trust me, if you pull it from the Facebook page, the quality won't be as good as compared to the one that I'll send you. At least it's uncompressed, quote unquote. So there's all of that. And that's basically been our week and day. So now we're going to get into the part that, I've been kind of waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. I'm going to put it out there. I have not attended AnimeNEXT in about 6 years, I believe. Going on 7.
We missed it. We missed it due to the pandemic. We missed the last 2 years before the pandemic.
Okay.
And then we missed this year.
So, give or take. And for those of you, I may have mentioned it a couple of times, and I'll put it out here flatly, and I may put an extended blog post on my personal page. I have not attended AnimeNEXT since, I believe, 2017, 2018, something like that, because I was falsely accused of harassing a cosplayer over a photo, of taking her picture. She got 4 of her friends, and they all sang the same story, then asked for my side, and that was it. I had friends who were there that tried to tell their side. They didn't want to listen, so it is what it is. Do I have a lawsuit? Most likely. Do I want to go through that? Absolutely not, because I know there are things in my life I'd like to keep private, and I'm just like, it's just not worth the hassle. It is what it is. But I have been following AnimeNEXT just for the sake of their fuck-ups. Now, the last time we had a field day with AnimeNEXT was last year, when all that personal information about their issues with the Atlantic City Convention Center was posted on their website, which, by the way, if you search around on Google, there are screenshots of that, so it's not hard to find. And all that information, and I say screenshots because all that information was pulled down off the site due to pending litigation against the con. So, but you have to take one thing though. AnimeNEXT has grown. It's anywhere between 10 and 12,000 people. So it's very hard for them to relocate in Jersey unless they go out of state. And more than likely, for them to go out of state would cause problems with the New York and New Jersey anime crowd. But there have been cons that have started in one state and ended up somewhere else. Like, I believe Katsucon is one of them. Otakon is one. Remember, Otakon started in State College, Pennsylvania. So, what it is, there has been some information going on with the con. A lot of it I have not been following because I didn't care to. Now, I knew when they announced they're going to be at the Expo, the New Jersey Convention Expo Center in Edison, it was going to be, yeah. I have been there for Exotica, and the schlepping back and forth between the Expo Center and a hotel, you're probably Ubering between $15 and $20, give or take. Now, I was under the assumption that everything was going to be at the Sheraton, which is basically a 15-minute car ride between locations with a shuttle. Now, as you know, AnimeNEXT had a shuttle going from the New Brunswick train station to Somerset when it was there, and then they had a shuttle for the hotels in Atlantic City. Either they had the shuttle or was the Atlantic City one. I don't remember. I didn't pay attention to that. We stayed across the street, so you know. It was told to me that AnimeNEXT was being held in 2 zip codes, and I'm just like, that makes absolutely no sense. Now, before I found this out, I discovered that Derpycon was having an after party across the street from their hotel, and it's a quote-unquote 20-minute commute. And I thought that was the funniest ever. You're going to be so far away from the con that makes absolutely no sense. You have to understand, at the time, I didn't know that the Hyatt New Brunswick is AnimeNEXT's hotel. I had no clue. I didn't find that. I didn't discover that till like last Tuesday or last Wednesday, and I thought that was the funniest shit ever. Now, on top of that, their entire program guide was a Google Doc Sheets. Now, some people came out to defend the con, that there's nothing wrong with that. And you're right. There is nothing wrong with having a program guide in a spreadsheet. There really isn't. But when you're an established convention for like 10 years, at least, and you come up with a spreadsheet, people are going to look at you. Now, you also got to understand, you have nerdy people that staff this con. Trust me, there could have been somebody on there that could have hammered out a quick program guide. Thankfully, there was a link somebody posted on Twitter. I don't know if it was their official one, but there was a schedule app available to use. So there's that. So now, the bulk of what I heard about AnimeNEXT was getting back and forth. Because think about it. The dealer's hall, autographs, main events, and a couple of panel rooms are in Edison. At that point, you can either book a hotel room nearby, because there's at least 4 hotels in the area you can go to. And if you do that, you're going to have to shuttle to the Expo Center and then to the New Brunswick Marriott, New Brunswick Hyatt for other things. What you could also do is stay at that New Brunswick Hyatt and shuttle back and forth. And you're probably thinking, well, it's only a 20-minute commute. I will say this. That area is Mako's stomping grounds. I used to hang out with her in those areas. Believe you me. That is not a 20-minute commute. The only way going from the Expo Center to the Hyatt New Brunswick is 20 minutes if Mako is driving the bus and it's at least 9:30 at night with very little traffic.
Yeah, I don't know who decided that 20 minutes was the correct commute time.
Google
to put
Maps
down.
did.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
They're
when
not perfect, you know.
yeah, when was it looked at on Google Maps? 2 o'clock in the morning?
No, when you were here, I mapped it out, and it still said 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not possible. And as 15 Tabby Cat says in our chat room at twitch.tv/anime jam session, the shuttles did not run on a schedule. They tried to wait until it was filled up. Which in a way makes sense, because from the photos I saw, there was not a lot of people there. It looked like they hit maybe 6,000 to 7,000 people, if that. If that. If they got over 10 grand, good for them. But I'm just saying, that's exactly how it looked. So, there's that. Now, I will say, even if I was not excommunicated from AnimeNEXT, I would have sat out this year. Because, number one, as a press... if I did go, I most likely would not have cosplayed, because I don't have time. Going between 2 hotels, changing costumes, and either Mako or Ari driving us back and forth. I will tell you this now. I probably would have been dead by the end of the weekend. Emotionally,
Somebody would have been dead.
mentally, and figuratively. Because I know these two for a very long time. Even for the sake of the con, there would not have been that much driving back and forth. And on a realistic level, if I didn't cosplay, I'm like, I can't keep going back and forth like this. It's a waste of gas, really.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it is a normal thing for some conventions to have the con split in 2 locations. But generally, it's going to be a block or 2 apart. You're walking a couple of blocks to the hotel where everything is. It's just, And as 15 Tabby Cat says, the other location have people waiting up to 2 hours for a shuttle. And I'll tell you this, I bet you Ubers and Lyfts were making money that weekend. Bet you.
Mm.
And some people were saying, well, maybe they couldn't get the rooms. Maybe they couldn't book the hotel, the Sheraton that weekend. So you wait another year. You don't inconvenience the people for, you don't inconvenience your customers like that. I'm sorry. Having your convention in 2 separate cities is a inconvenience. It really is. Now, let's say it was let's say it really was a 10 minutes back and forth, 2 separate cities. Fine, that's okay. There are those cases where, you can walk 3 blocks and you are in a different city. There are places like that. That's understandable. But here's the icing on the cake. Some of you may not seen this. I have not shared this on our socials, but maybe I should. A cosplayer was falsely accused of harassing people at the con on Friday and Saturday. They found this person, took their badge, and they found out afterwards why. Security wouldn't tell them anything at all. It was just no. So, they eventually, from my understanding, they did apologize to the person that it was a case of mistaken identity. But it was too little, too late. Now, this has got to be the most fucked up case of mistaken identity I have ever had to deal with. The person that they accused of harassing and stalking other cosplayers and con-goers was Asian. The person that was guilty of doing that, who was actually kicked out of the con and escorted out by the police, were white. And if you can see Ari's face right now, he's like, what in the fresh farm fuck?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's that, you ever seen that meme of the woman thinking, and then you see all the mathematic equations that's Ari's expression right now, okay? And here's the thing. This cosplayer that was falsely accused was only there Saturday. The perp was there Friday and Saturday. Come the on. C. DeBerry says 20-minute commutes in New Jersey are possible, but they're limited to outer Bergen County. Makes sense. And 15 Tabby Cat says VIP was screwed over. So what else is new? And I'll say this. I've said my piece about AnimeNEXT. I know there's 5 people on staff that rather see me dead than step foot in their convention. I could care less. I have really no desire to return to this convention. Even if the con chair apologizes for what happened. I'm done with it. Even if they get a guest I really want to see, I will pay somebody to go and get the autograph on my behalf. That's it. I just have no desire. The first couple of years sucked because I was not able to take pictures and see friends. But there are other conventions popping up in New Jersey, New York, Philly, all over. I can travel to those and see those same friends. They may not have like the tier 1 cosplays, but at least I'll see them and hang out with them. So, if anybody from AnimeNEXT staff is listening, and I hope to God you are, please take what I said and let it marinate in your brain housing group for at least a good 15-20 minutes. If you're going to attempt something like this for 2024, book the Raritan Edison or the Sheraton Edison. It's right there. It's either that or you go down to the Wildwood Convention Center that can handle 10,000 people. But I tell you this, that will be your swan song. That's a 3-hour car ride for some people, and for those who are traveling on mass transit, that's a 4-hour bus ride. Because it's 2.5 from New York to Atlantic City, then another hour and some change from Atlantic City to Wildwood. And to be perfectly honest, unless you get the entire cast of Ranma 1/2, whether it's the Japanese, which I know for a fact you could not do because one of the voice actresses passed away a few years ago.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make it difficult.
And actually, with the dub one, same thing. The voice actor for Genma passed away, so you know. But still, if you made an attempt, that would be the only way. And even then, I would have somebody else sign out my art book and call it a day. My email address is listed on the website, is listed where you find this podcast. We can talk. But enough about that. We're going to actually get into some more news tonight. We're going to talk about how Sailor Moon has come full circle in a way. And what I mean is, if you haven't heard, that's odd. I can't get onto the website.
Yeah, it's giving a not found link for me too.
I'm getting it.
Can go on.
Go for it. Yeah.
What happened, but most of the links are not working, but I can go onto their website.
Was Crunchyroll hacked?
No, because I was able to pull up the 2 that I need. So I don't know.
Oh god, that stuff has a bad aftertaste.
18th.
I'm actually going to see if I can. I'm going to actually open up a private browser, private window, and see if I can get on there. There's a slim chance, but anything's plausible. Nope. I'm actually. Oh wait. Oh, that's why. I have my private VPN turned on. Let's see. Not okay. Wow. I get a not found. Okay. Access
You
denied.
too, huh?
Access denied with the VPN. Not found without the VPN. That's wow. So,
I don't know what's wrong with Crunchyroll this time.
Sia DeBeer asks, but which is better, Kirari Sailor Dream or Moon Pride? I would have to say Moon Pride because I was just listening to it earlier today. But out of all the opening themes, Sailor Star Song hits number one, then In Love with the New Moon, which is Eternal, Sailor Dream, Classic, then Moon Pride. That would have to be the order. So, well, you want me to go ahead and tell them what this article is about, or are you good?
Hmm?
Can you go? Can you pull? Can you go?
This is yours.
All right, but I can't pull it up.
It's in the it's in our chat.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Appreciates that. All right, so okay, we have a backup site. Perfect. Able to give props to over to Orange Range, where we're getting our story from. If y'all remember PGSM, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the live action series that came out, I believe, in 2005. One of the actresses from the show, Keiko Kitagawa, who you may have seen in the third Fast and Furious movie, Tokyo Drift, it has been announced she will be joining the cast as Sailor Cosmos. And for those of you who don't know, PGSM is her acting debut role as well. For those of you who do not know, the upcoming film adapts the manga's Shadow Galactica arc, which is the final arc of the series and is split into two parts, with part 1 premiering June 9th and part 2 on June 30th. The films are done by Toei Animation and is directed by Tomoya Takahashi, who worked on Gatchaman Crowds. It was written by Kazuyuki Fudiatsu, who worked on Land Illustrious, Kazuko Tadano, who was the character designer of the original Sailor Moon anime, to come back to work on the films, and Yasuhiro Takanashi, who worked on Naruto Shippuden, returns to compose the music, and the art direction done by Yumiko Soraga. And Sita Biri goes, ooh, she was Sailor Mars, right? Yes, she was. Now, here's something interesting. This popped up on my feed about a month ago. She was at an event or a TV show, and it says called Nep League SP. While she was on this show, they showed footage of her as Sailor Mars from PGSM. And she was a bit embarrassed, but she ended up recreating the pose and saying the famous line. I think that's pretty awesome. And looking at both pictures, she still looks great, except that she has brown hair, but as opposed to black hair. And that's probably a wig. Bonus points if it's a real hair. That makes it even better. So, wow, she goes from playing one of the sassiest senshi to one of the, I guess, pettiest villains in the series. All right, so we're going to move on to our next story here about Crunchyroll and voice acting. Now, we talked about this previously, about how Crunchyroll had blocked various voice actors from working on the game Tower of God. Basically, they were not allowing the voices who worked on the anime to work on the game. In a way, you kind of see this in real life. Sort of like take for example, Kingdom Hearts, the Pirates of the Caribbean areas. That was not voiced by Johnny Depp and dude from Lord of the Rings. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head.
Hugo Weaving?
Not Hugo Weaving, no. Legolas.
Vigo something?
No, the guy who played Legolas in Lord of the Rings. In the Kingdom Hearts game, it was actually two people who did a voice match. Same thing with the Ghostbusters the video game. It's not the original voice. It's not the original actors. It's voice actors who were able to sample well. Orlando Bloom. Thank you, Cedar Berry. So that's basically what that is. And you would think, I know that something like that happened with the Persona 5 anime. I think a couple of voice actors kind of got swapped around. I don't remember. I didn't finish watching it. But a voice actor was stepping forward about what Crunchyroll is doing, and she had more to say. All yours.
Mako, is that you?
Did we
Which one?
The voice actor claims.
Yes. So, voice actor Laura Post spoke out about perceived inequalities in Crunchyroll's contracts for voice work. Post wrote on June 2nd that a new Tower of God mobile game will not feature reprisals from the anime's English cast, stating the actors were blocked from auditioning due to interference by Crunchyroll. So the series was produced or co-produced in 2020 as part of the Crunchyroll original programming in partnership with Naver Webtoon. According to Post, the game developer approached a studio to begin recording the English localization, and Crunchyroll went directly to the client and told them they owned the voice prints of the original cast. Post wrote that Crunchyroll doesn't own the voice prints. They went on to say that the video game client would legally or could legally not use any of the cast in the game in any capacity, not even as new characters or different characters than originally played. They could not even audition for new or different characters. They were completely blacklisted.
That's
so
nuts.
Yeah. And then we get what Crunchyroll said is completely 100% untrue. Not only did I personally review my contracts to be sure that there was no such clause, in addition, I also had multiple lawyers look over the contract and they agreed. There is nothing in the contract to stop us from being part of the project, at the very least as new or different characters. So a voice print in the entertainment medium refers to the audio recording of all of the performer sessions, or in this case, everything created for the dub. The term is also used to refer to the specific cadence and pitch of a voice, but according to the law offices, it would not include the style of voice the performer created for the character as a whole, unless the character's voice was recognizable and iconic. So, for instance, Nancy Cartwright, who is Bart Simpson, they took her voice and were using it for robo message calls promoting the Church of Scientology.
Oh boy.
So Post shared her contract with the news station that lays out Crunchyroll's terms regarding the copyright ownership of her work. The lawyer stated that the language in the shared portion of the contract is to declare that the copyright of the voice work and hence the voice prints belong to the initial party, Crunchyroll in this case, and thus only Crunchyroll may use those voice prints, which includes Crunchyroll's ability to license these voice prints out to third parties such as game developers. The ability to license out the voice prints would be subject to other terms of the contract. However, according to the lawyer, while the shared contract clause limits who owns the results of the work, it does not prohibit an actor from reprising their role in any other medium. The entirety of the contract was not shared. The lawyer that was also talking with the news agency said that there were restrictions, said that if there are restrictions regarding role reprisals, it must be in another area of the contract. And the lawyer also told the news agency that these types of clauses are standard for the entertainment medium. Without them, the studio can be prohibited from exhibiting the work, as an actor can claim that the results of the work, i.e., their performance, is their own copyright, and could otherwise demand extra payments, license their voice recordings out to other parties, or try to obtain an injunction and keep the work from being exhibited at all. Yeah, so um yeah. So Post suggested Crunchyroll's motivation is because the game's dub is unionized.
Mm-hmm.
Station discussions among anime voice acting talent are ongoing, first gaining traction during the pandemic and after the Funimation and Crunchyroll merger. Anime voice actor pay rates remain low, and a notable example being
Jujutsu.
Jujutsu. Yes,
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Mm-hmm.
yes. So according to one of the English voice actors, they were likely paid just $150 to $600 in total for their performance. This is an anime film that took number 2 in the US box office in its opening weekend. So, yeah, it's very much a craziness at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this with, you know, we've seen it before in the various industries. The quote unquote he said she said, the we're going to, you know, write your contract into a corner. It's not a new story, but the fact that it's still ongoing and the fact that, you know, these companies are making a lot of money and not passing that on to the voice actors is really kind of shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Is everything okay with your mic?
No, hold on.
All right, no problem. All right, so also, here's something that we have brought up from time to time again. You know, we know people that are in the industry. And one thing that we were told is that Crunchyroll and Funimation's parent company is Sony, and they want everything done in the house. So basically, it's like the contracts are changed, and it's making things a bit more difficult. So some of that might be coming up from them. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of unions because I worked in one and I got screwed over by my own union out of a job. That's all said and done. And I understand there are some unions out there that actually mean something and that they will fight for you. I'm all about that. But you got some unions that give the people so much power that nothing gets done. Case in point, the Postal Service and the MTA. So, but again, the benefits of unions is there are protections, guaranteed pay, and then some. I'm all about that. Not when the union is too powerful, it'll screw over other people just because, you know. That's something I'm not down with. Anywho, we're gonna move on to our next story about a dude who stole a bunch of Pokemon cards and, well, got busted.
Oh boy. So yeah, card shops are having to incorporate security systems and part jewelry and antique shops to keep ahead of increasingly aggressive burglars with an eye on a mint condition Charizard. Just this week, one caper that spanned most of the country was thwarted by Tokyo police, who arrested 35-year-old Masaki Omori of Okinawa for stealing some 1,500 Pokemon cards. It all began when Omori applied for a Yami Baito, or a dark part-time job, a one-time high-pay, high-risk criminal endeavor at the request of someone often made over social media. His job was to travel to Akihabara in Tokyo and steal Pokemon cards. A specific shop was designated by the person or people who hired them, and although it also sold other goods like mobile phones, Omori was only instructed to get the cards. If successful, he'd be paid over 1 million yen. The suspect flew to Ibaraki on April 11th using his own money and a rental car, and then traveled to Akihabara. At about 5 a.m. on April 12th, Amori smashed through a window of the unoccupied store and proceeded to take about 1,500 cards worth about 1.15 million yen. That's about $8,240. Omori then took the card to a rendezvous in an Ibaraki park and handed over his contact. He was then informed to pick up his payment at a separate rendezvous on a later date, but when he was there, no one else showed up. After his arrest, he told police that he needed the money to cover living expenses after incurring heavy gambling losses.
Of course.
The authorities are currently using his smartphone to track down the person or people who hired him and currently have the stolen merchandise. And we have online comments like, there's too much Pokemon card-related crime these days. Amazing that people would do all this for some cards. You have to admire the longevity of Pokemon. Light, hard to trace, easy to sell. Easier to steal and jewel your cards. Easier to robbing a bank. These people probably want to resell the cards themselves, so aside from the obvious criminal problems, the resale card market needs to be re-examined. And it sucks for him that even after getting arrested, he still didn't get paid for it.
Well, walk around and find out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anywho.
Okay.
Anywho, another thing that's kind of gotten a little popular over the last couple of days is the trailer for a live-action One Piece.
Oh boy.
Ya-yo, ya-yo.
Oh god damn it. Let's see. Netflix's Tudum 2023 event debuted the first ever teaser trailer for the Hollywood live-action One Piece manga. The teaser announced the series' August 31st premiere. Original creator Eiichiro Oda, who is also serving as executive producer, stated in May that the series will not launch until he is quote-unquote satisfied. He added that each and every entity involved is working in sync. He also clarifies that the series will have 8 episodes as opposed to the 10 as originally reported. Netflix will exclusively stream the live-action series. Tomorrow Studios, a partnership between Marty Aldenstein for Prison Break and Teen Wolf and ITV Studios, is producing the live-action series. Matt Owens from Luke Cage and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the show's writer, and Steve Maeda and Becky Clemens are executive producers. Adelstein stated in a video message shown at Jump Festa in 2017 that the live-action Hollywood TV series adaptation will start with the East Blue arc and will quote-unquote broaden from there. So yeah, there's the Twitter links, the YouTube link, and this nice pic, I guess flyer, whatever you want to call it, notice from the creator about what he wants to see.
Yeah, he's basically explaining things, but yeah, we talked about this a few weeks ago. But I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I give One Piece 1 season, and that's it.
That's about as many fucks as you give One Piece, huh?
Basically. I mean, there are diehard One Piece fans that are not feeling this. Some in the trailer, it shows Luffy doing the Gum Gum pistol attack, and some have compared it to Mr. Fantastic's arm stretch from the 1994 Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, the CG in this is horrible.
Yep. It's like, I think we've all been there before. It's like you find out your favorite book or show or something like that is getting an adaptation, and you get all hyped for it, and you watch it, and it's terrible, and you hate it, but you still watch it because it's your favorite show. Like the first season of Sailor Moon Crystal, how badly rushed the animation was, but you know.
Yeah.
Some were complaining about Luffy's voice actor, about he's a little bit too dark, his accent. Well, from my understanding, Luffy is supposed to be Brazilian, so there you go. The entire cast is multinational. What more do you want? I'll tell you this right now, and it's already happened. I'm just saying. Let's say they actually go back and do a live action Dragon Ball Z. Just follow me here. I'm just saying. Let's say they get the stories right. They execute it perfectly. People will still bitch because Goku and the gang are not Japanese, when in actuality they're actual aliens, so they shouldn't have to look Japanese. Just saying. It's like, it's like that old trope: are gamers ever happy? And the answer is no. Are anime fans ever happy? The answer is no. Bonds006 says he saw the trailer this morning and doesn't have any comment on it. Makes sense. And Cedar says, watch it as it gets 1,000 episodes. God, I hope not. That will not happen. No way. God, the Straw Hat crew would be collecting Social Security and still haven't found the One Piece in the Grand Line. Anywho, we're going to get into our last story and then get into meanwhile in Japan. And this is actually another favorite anime of mine, Lycoris Recoil.
Yeah, so it looks like Lycoris Recoil is getting 2 different collaborations. One, which is going to be in pop-up shops starting later in the month, is with Sanrio. So, yeah. So chiefly right now, the big, obvious main characters are Tsukina with My Melody and Chisato with Kuromi. But they're freaking adorable, just like all of the other Sanrio stuff. The event is scheduled to kick off on June 24th. The shops will be selling goods for a limited time in locations in Aichi, Osaka, Miyagi, Hokkaido, and Tokyo. Life-size panels and mini panels will also be on display for photo ops, and certain goods will be available for pre-order on the Premium Store JP website. Let's see if actually... Nope, it's just going to the main store.
Okay.
Yeah, so, obviously with other collaborations, we have seen plushies, we have seen, standees, folders. Some of them have been on shirts and various things like that. So does look like you can start looking for that. I'm going to guess. Oh, wait, no, it is up.
Oh, okay.
I find it. Yes, please go. Trying to see. This is just talking about the event itself. Yeah, it's not talking about what product will be there and when it will be.
Maybe leaving it as a surprise.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys have seen the other collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be the same kind of things. It's the characters wearing various clothing based off of the characters from the anime. It's just they all look very cute.
Yeah.
The other one involving the same characters from the anime, which officially launched yesterday, is going to be Pizza Hut, surprisingly.
The power.
Yeah, so the pair will be featured on a variety of merchandise as part of the campaign that will run from June 19th to July 23rd. First off, 10 lucky participants will receive an original Kyo card by participating in a retweet hashtag campaign on Twitter between June 19th and July 2nd. Secondly, the first 30,000 people who spend over 1,000 yen on an order from Pizza Hut's website or app can opt to receive a branded sheet protector. And then they also list the recommended pizzas as premium margarita and 4-cheese melt formaggio. And finally, those 30,000 participants will go into a drawing to receive one of 50 acrylic stands and tapestries. These will also be sold separately online. So yeah, so it looks like we're getting some collaborations. I like to see the collaborations of the various anime that are out there now, because they always tend to be a little fun.
Yeah, it's a lot better than some of the stuff that we get here, if we get anything here.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't really yeah, we really don't get a lot of that kind of stuff in this area. And that makes me very sad.
Here. All right. Now we're part of the show that you all would stick around for. Meanwhile, in Japan, let's see. Let me go ahead and adjust the volume. Right, there we go. That. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I'll take the second story.
Mako, which one you want?
It doesn't matter to me.
I'll take the first one then.
Go for it.
And crazy busy overnight work experience event for Japanese kids gives them just 4 hours of sleep. A lot of kids in Japan are fascinated with trains. A lot of them think they would grow up to like do some kind of work related to them. So it's pretty nice of Kintetsu Railway Co., which operates in Japan's central Kansai region, to offer a special summer program that lets elementary school age kids experience what it's like to work in a train station. But before signing up, kids and their parents are going to want to read the schedule very carefully because it's an overnight program with only 4 hours designated for sleep. The first part of the schedule, it's simple. On day one, participants gather at 3:30 in the afternoon at Shomiiki Ichiguchi Station on Kintetsu's Yoshino line, located in the town of Yoshino, Nara Prefecture. After a ceremony naming them honorary station masters for a day, they'll get started on a variety of station worker experience activities, including ticket gate monitoring, train inspections, cleaning duties, signal operation, and setup and storage of work equipment. These activities will take place at 3 stations along the line: Shima Ichiguchi, Yoshino, and Yamato Kamiichi. The last of which is, pictured at the top of the article. And it seems like the aim is to really have kids experience everything a station worker does during a day, including how busy the job can be. Next thing listed on the schedule: sleeping inside Yamato Kamiichi Station all the way at around midnight. But the program on day 2 starts at 4:30 a.m. And to clarify, the sleep around midnight part of the schedule isn't a lights out time after participants spend the evening relaxing. It's a schedule provided by Kintetsu explicitly states the amount of time for napping is approximately 4 hours only.
Wow.
The written schedule is a little vague on day 2. It's simply stating at Yoshino Station and end of the program certificate award ceremony. It does designate program schedule to end around noon, though, so unless they're planning a 7-hour award ceremony, it sounds like the kids will be spending most of the morning doing more work activities. Sleeping pads and bedding are provided, but food is not. So families have to bring dinner and breakfast for the next morning with them. They'll arguably still be early enough to go get something to eat after the certificate ceremony and still call it breakfast. And there's no shower God. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Online commenters have expressed shock at the grueling schedule, with some saying that rather than deepening kids' interest in working on a rail company, it's likely to mercilessly shatter their young dreams that have the result of working anywhere but a train station when they grow up. But it's unclear whether work until midnight, get up at 4:30 is a typical schedule for a station worker. Officially, the program is called the Station Work Experience and quote-unquote overnight nap and station building experience event, which could imply that sleeping in the station isn't something that's a frequent part of station work, and instead something that's been added to the program as a unique experience for rail fans who enjoy. Yet staying overnight in a train station or what have you when you're like, I guess when you're like trying to waiting for a flight or anything like that's not very typically enjoyable.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I am right there with you on the part where this will kill kids' interest in it. I mean, I may be wrong, but I'm not.
I mean, you're not wrong. It might, for some, it might just motivate them even more, but it just depends on how it's perceived. All right, so our next story involves a father and son getting arrested for the same crime. As the saying goes, the family that gets arrested together stays together. So Father's Day just came and gone, and during that time, it's a time to reflect on how a lot of dads are out there doing their best to keep their kids on the straight and narrow throughout life. But that doesn't always go according to plan. Case in point, late last year led to the arrest of a father and son for the same crime. It all started when 29-year-old Tatsuya Tanaka was driving in Narima, Tokyo, and collided with a 37-year-old man riding a motorcycle. The victim suffered various injuries such as a broken toe, but Tanaka fled the scene by getting into a car driven by his friend, 28-year-old Yuma Abe, who was driving behind him at the time of said accident. Tanaka may have fled because, according to police, he was unlicensed at the time of the accident. It was seen that shortly afterwards, news of the accident reached his father, 50-year-old Toru Tanaka. Rather than to allow his son to face punishment for his various offenses, Toru went to the accident scene about an hour after and said that he did it. That in turn led to an investigation that went several months. During this time, the police determined that Toru did not in fact do it. But a week ago, Tokyo Metropolitan Police arrested Tatsuya Tanaka, Toru Tanaka, and Yuma Abe for their respective involvement in breaking the motorcyclist's toe. The netizens had various things to say that says, a parent's love for their child is moving. They all had to go to jail together. Instead of trying to take the fall, he should have scolded his idiot son and turned him in to the police. If that guy has no license, he certainly has no insurance. I feel bad for the mother who has to put up with these guys. The son should have manned up. Yep. The son should have manned up and stopped his father. And a real father would drag his son to the police. If you're a father, it's hard not to sympathize with and respect that feeling to want to sacrifice yourself as well as the well-being of your child. Given the timing of events, it will also seem that Toru acted largely on impulse while considering what was truly best for his son in the long run. Probably any dad would agree that fatherhood is just a series of heroic moments and screw-ups. Yeah. The best we can hope that those moments aren't quite as extreme as they were for Toru, and it's going to be quite interesting when father and son are in the same cell block together. And trust me, that can happen. All right, and now our last story of the night.
Yeah, so you can have some ice cream with Hello Kitty, but you're gonna have to work for it.
Works hard for the money.
So a major Japanese toy maker, Takara Tomy, may have created the ultimate toy without the need for any fancy AI or robotics. Ice de Yo-Yo, a name that's fun to say regardless of what language you read it in, truly lets kids have their play and eat it too. First, it should be pointed out that these are a Japanese style of yo-yo. That is a small ball filled with a little bit of water, tied with an elastic band, and you find them primarily at festivals where kids try to catch them and fish them out of a tub by trying to catch the rubber bands with hooks attached to paper that weaken as they get wet. But with Ice de Yo-Yo, the balloon is replaced with a special container that mixes the ingredients to make ice cream as it bobs up and down. Inside the yo-yo are two compartments. In one of them, you put ice, water, and salt, and as you shake the yo-yo, they turn into a freezing cold water, which then solidifies the ice cream ingredients that are stored in the second compartment. After about 3 minutes of yo-yoing, you get to dig in. So while you can let your imagination run wild and create your own juicy and creamy flavors, there is a recipe booklet included that has 10 recipes in there for you to start. In addition to playing and eating ice cream, kids can learn more about the scientific principles involved in the rapid cooling process. Recipes include strawberry ice cream made with strawberries, condensed milk, and milk, matcha ice cream made with matcha ole, powder, and milk, and again, various others. So these will be selling for about $19 each and come in 4 of Sanrio's more popular characters: Hello Kitty, Cinema Roll, My Melody, and Kuromi. Yeah, so obviously you get to, be creative in making your own. You can experiment using, I guess, non-dairy products as well. And since it is so small, it is just a single serving. So if you mess up, it's not a huge batch. You're not using a lot of ingredients. And you can really go ahead and let your creativity shine.
And speaking of ice cream, that pint of boozy ice cream I got for you is still in my freezer.
I didn't even realize you got me a pint of boozy ice cream.
Yeah, this was from last year. I might have to throw it out by now.
Oh, yeah, it might be freezer burnt by this point.
Yeah. It was the ice cream. It was the boozy ice cream that you wanted, but you never got a chance to try it. Tipsy Scoop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know where to get it, so maybe next time I come through, I'll see about grabbing a pint and making my way out there.
Or the next time I come out that way.
Yeah, that's only fair.
Either way.
Mm-hmm. And I believe we're at the point where we're kind of sort of. Are we done? Or
yes.
I think we are.
Yeah.
That's a good thing because I'm freaking tired.
That makes 2 of us. I just want to stand up and stretch, and then you'll hear the crack of my back and my muscles and my bones. All right, y'all. It is time for us to get the heck up on out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters, so what we like and don't like, we're telling you straight up front right then and there. So if you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. And don't forget to check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you'll find our weekly podcast, anime tips and tricks, cosplayer tips and tricks, anime reviews, editorials, cosplayer interviews, links to our YouTube page of convention coverage, links to our Facebook page of cosplay coverage, and then some. All that and a lot more at animejamsession.com. And while you're on your phone, please check out our podcast. We have tons of episodes up. You can find us through iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. And what's great is that these sites allow you to leave a review. So if you could, drop us a review. We'd really appreciate that. A little goes a long way. And while you're here, support us on our social media pages, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It's all Anime Jam Session. So please follow us on those so you know when we're going live, when new articles are going up, when we have brand new photos and videos up for you to check out. And if you're participating with us, please help support the show by helping with the tip jar. There's links on our Twitch page where you can click on, throw dollars at us if you like. You can always give bits in the chat. You can sub to the channel or give a gift sub. All this goes back so that we can keep the site up and do other cool stuff. And we really appreciate all that you do. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Ari.
I still have so much trash to take out. It's not even funny.
Gotcha. Last words, Mako.
I am really looking forward to this weekend and not having to work.
My last words, I finished The Glory, which is an amazing K-drama. I just started on another one called Juvenile Justice. It's like a deeper version of Law and Order Trial by Jury. That's the best way I can describe it, and it's on Netflix. So that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. The squad will be here. We hope you'll be here too. So I'm Ranma.
I'm Ari.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Ah, perfect. That's it. We're getting out of here. So that's it. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!